Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 16th through the 26th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of True Crime Time for Wednesday, May the 21st, 2025, and I'm Woody Overton.
I'm Cyndi Overton.
And we are back to bring you the news, crime stories, all that good stuff. And we really, really love y'all loving it.
Yeah.
Continuing to move up the charts. Just being blessed, and hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Husband and wife throwing it down.
Not literally throwing it down.
Yeah, sometimes, but we don't beat each other physically. And anyway, so look, this weekend, Scorch State versus Peterson, y'all. I'm literally. The defense is arrested, the prosecution is arrested, and I'm going to do the verdict and the judge's instructions and all that. It's very interesting. So tune into it, and then we'll be getting back to Real Life, Real Crime Originals on also the human trafficking series. It is coming. I'm telling you, we are going to have a real life victim of human trafficking and the sex trade and everything that is so successful now, but that she is actually helping start a nonprofit that's helping other victims of human trafficking, sex trafficking, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It is what it is. And we're going to start telling these stories from their point of view. And that'll be on another episode. I haven't quite figured out the placement and everything yet, or the name of it, but it's coming. Y'all, this Friday, you've got to listen to the interview I'm going to do with Miss Barbara Johnson on Haley's case. Wow. You can't believe how stupid people are and how great some people are. And we didn't do it last week because Miss Barbara had the phone call with the district attorney, and I wanted to see what was going to happen this past week. And thank God we waited because a lot happened. And we want to do it justice, if you will. And I actually have a feeling we're recording this on Monday. I have a feeling there's going to be more stuff between now and Friday that's going to happen. So very, very interesting episode. It'll blow your mind. So listen to that right now. Let's get down to what the people came to hear, or turned on the mic, or not the mic, turned on a button, pressed a button. They want to hear some true crime time for Wacky Wednesday. What a hump day, Wacky Wednesday, Wicked Wednesday, Wednesday. You know, even to this day, I cannot spell Wednesday. Every time I go to type it in, I don't know if it's W-E-D or W-E-N.
W-E-D, Wednesday.
I know. It's OCD block. I'll forget it again. So, all right. You, ladies first. Oh, by the way, y'all, we have a phone call in an hour and 13 minutes with Cold Case Files producers, and we'll keep you updated on that too.
That's true. We're going to start off in California. And we're going to go to Hawaii. Yeah. So we're going to travel a little bit today. Is 1982 way enough back for you?
I was 12 years old. I was raised in hell. Drank my first beer. Smoked. Well, I mean, they did everything for the first time when I was 12 years old.
You did everything for the first time when you were 12? Oh my gosh.
I was 6 feet tall. I mean, I was a big kid. I really wasn't a kid. I was a man.
Oh, Bucky.
I was a man. I was buying beer when I was 12.
I think you're about at the same maturity level now as you were.
I was going to say regress. Is that a word? All right. So going to California, Hawaii.
Yep. So we're going to start off in 1982 in Santa Clara.
What a great year. Great year for MTV. Great year for music. Sorry, guy.
And a 15-year-old Karen Stitt was murdered.
Not a great year for Karen Stitt.
No, or her family, or her friends.
Yeah.
Stitt she's 15, so she had like a date with her boyfriend. She had been with her boyfriend.
She's a couple years older than me.
Right? At the time, right. And
she's still a couple years older than me.
Her boyfriend dropped her off at a bus stop.
All right.
And
Why the fuck you couldn't take her home if you drive her to a bus stop, drive her the rest of the way home? If you took one of my daughters out on a date and then bring her home, you dropped her off at a bus stop, I'd have the red ass.
Well, I'm going to make it even worse for you because it was actually near a bus stop.
Okay, well.
He didn't even take her to the bus stop.
Yeah. What's wrong with your fucking vehicle?
Well,
it won't come down my street. And don't ever pull up and honk the horn for my daughter to come outside. Bitch, you better get out of your car, come knock on the door and say hello to me.
Okay. Well, I would guess that her boyfriend probably regrets not taking her home or making sure she got safely on the bus after what happened.
Okay.
So she was never seen again alive. Her naked body was found the next morning behind a blood-stained cinder block wall. Okay. Mm-hmm. She was stabbed 56 times.
Overkill.
And the killer left both blood and bodily fluid.
Yeah, which didn't mean dick back then. All they could do is type the blood type and say if the body fluid was semen, they could say it was semen. They couldn't get DNA.
Exactly. So with all that they had, which they kept it, whatever. After all the detective work, nothing was ever found. The case went cold.
Yeah. And
there was never a significant lead. Like not even, like the boyfriend was like no significant lead. So until 2019.
Familiar DNA comes up again.
And
that's two of my favorite words now. Familiar DNA.
You're going to get that tattooed on you.
On my forehead.
So when Sunnyvale, DPS detective Matt Hutchinson followed up on a tip and determined that Stitt's killer was one of 4 brothers from Fresno. Okay.
Through the familiar DNA. So, yeah, I know all you true crime fans out there know, besides it being tattooed on my forehead, they can, like the story you did yesterday, they had, found one family member in like Romania or some place like that and tracked it back over. So now they've narrowed it down to one of 4 brothers. So in late 2022, a man with the last name Ramirez was identified as the likely source of the blood and bodily fluid left at the scene. So they had to then go find him. Okay. This journey takes them all the way to Hawaii. And they find the man, Ramirez. His name is Gary, and he's 78. Mm-hmm. They go to Hawaii. They find Gary Ramirez, right? And he's 70-something years old. He's 70-something years old. He's probably catching a big wave off the big island or whatever. And they arrest him at his home in Makanawa or Makawahu on the island of Maui in August of 2022 after the DNA linked him to the crime scene. Good. He was a former resident of Fresno. There you go. And he actually served in the Air Force. There you go. He pleaded no contest to her murder, and he is doing 25 years. Y'all, no contest is strictly a guilty plea. All it does is stop you from being able to be sued civilly by saying I'm guilty. Right. Right. So that his plea is no contest plea is I'm fucking guilty. I'm not going to fight it. And you know what? 78 years old, 25, 30 some years in familiar DNA. Great story. That dude lived his best life for all those years after he killed that baby girl.
Yep. And thank you to the detective that didn't give up on it, right?
Yep. And, thank you to whoever locked that evidence away in the evidence room. That's what amazes me. Cause I know how, look, y'all, I've had to dig through old case evidence files and, in rooms that should never have been done and just on a wing and a prayer trying to find something, right? So did they ever say what the motive was or anything, or how he knew her? Yeah.
No connection to that.
Okay. Well, there you go. I'm going to throw you a doozy. You ready?
Yes.
All right. So, you say if I don't kill it, catch it, or clean it, we don't eat it.
It's true.
Right? And naturally, besides hunting, one of my favorite things to do, besides being your husband, is to go fishing. Right?
Yeah.
I got to fish a little bit last week, and we like to fry our fish and cook them up and eat them. And, once you have all your equipment, fishing isn't as expensive, right? But now there's different levels. You could have a fishing camp that's $500,000 and a fishing boat that's $100,000. And then you got to drive,
or you can decide that you're going to start shrimping or crabbing.
I've done all that too. But I don't have, we don't have a $500,000 camp anymore anyway, hurricanes. Or it could be simple as you living on a property and you have a pond. You get your little $19 Epco and go out there and catch you some dinner, right?
That's true.
All right. Well, let's go to New York City.
Okay.
You wouldn't think there's a whole lot of fishing in New York City.
In the city.
New York City.
Okay. Are they in the gutter
New
system?
York City. And now those waters are so polluted and all that and all. But it's okay. This couple did it together. They went fishing together.
Well, that's sweet.
Right?
Good quality time.
That's right. And they're trying to catch big fish. No, they weren't. It's a different kind of fishing. They're magnet fishers.
Okay.
You ever heard that?
Yeah. Karen Archuleta loves
Right.
doing
That's
it.
right. Mama Karen loves this. So they are magnet fishers and they're adamant about it. Right. They said it's James Kane and Barbie Agostina, and they said they fish to help the environment. They like to get all the trash. Can you imagine how much fucking trash is in the bottom of those waterways? But they collect the waste and other materials that don't belong in the water, and they throw them away.
Where are they throwing them?
I don't know. I guess
just relocating them.
Well, I guess it goes to land. I guess it goes to a landfill. But they oftentimes find interesting things also, right? You made one time out of 100, it could be something interesting. Kane and Agostina were magnet fishing in Flushing Meadows Corona Park when they had hooked a big one. Okay. Different than the fish is. I love to hear that line go. That means you got a big one on. Well, this one is different. So you throw out the magnet, tie it in the line, you drag it across the bottom as slow as you can. And if it hooks something, right? They hooked something. And it was a big something. And they pulled it in, and it took them 45 minutes to reel this item in.
Oh, I bet they thought they got a safe.
It wasn't safe. So after 45 minutes, they pulled out a mucky, rusted old safe. Then they had to struggle to get it out of the water, right?
Yeah.
Now they're looking at it.
That's a heavy magnet.
So you got to have a heavy line. That's the main thing, so not to break it. So they pull it out and they're thinking, oh, it's cool. They're thinking it's an empty old safe. But the dude was like, hey, there's a hole in the bottom of it. He reached in. I know, but the snakes aren't like they are down here. And he reached in and he thought it would be like baggies or whatever. Kane said he pulled out what?
A gun.
Stacks of $100 bills.
What?
Yes.
What the heck?
Yes. He said he pulled it out. It was 2 stacks of freaking hundreds, he exclaimed. Agostina wasn't willing to believe her partner and assumed he was pranking her due to the previous nature of their finds, right?
Yeah.
She said, I was like, no, it's not. I didn't believe it till I saw the $100 bills myself. And she said the stacks of fortune were covered in muck, water, and you know, been in the water a long time. And they were thinking, this might not be ours to keep. Well, they did something Woody Overton would have never done.
Told the police.
They did. I've been like, fuck you. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. You had to, first of all, I've been looking
Prove it.
I mean, but you know, I'm not used to the detective skills. It's all covered in muck. It's an old rusted safe. So this bitch has been there a minute. I'm assuming Al Capone's not going to come over the hill and kill me for the safe somebody stole. But think about that. It's got a hole in the bottom and it's got some stacks of hundreds in it. Did it have like 1,000 stacks of hundreds in it and they just missed a couple? Yeah. Or did they get scared AF because the gangsters were coming and they threw it over the bridge?
Or did they drop it and think they were going to come back and get it?
Oh, good point. I didn't think about that. Fuck that. I don't ever understand these stories about robbers or hide their loot and come back and get it. If I'm going to rob you and I'm not hiding it to take a chance of somebody else to find it.
There's a psychological analysis of that. I literally just read about this a little bit last night, that when someone robs a bank, oftentimes they leave the money in the car and when they get away, they don't think it's their money when they, for whatever reason, and they leave it.
Do you know what the name of that study is?
Stupid?
No, something that Woody Overton would never do. All right. So the money is dirty as AF, and they were like, fuck. They call the cops, and cops come out and do what they do, and they investigated, and they were like, you know what? There is no crime or record of any type. They searched it, and they couldn't find anything.
Okay. Of a reported safe being stolen.
Right. And they, let me think about it. The might have been some nefarious shit or whatever, but this has been there a long time again. So the couple is ecstatic. They don't know that they're going to keep the money, but they're ecstatic by the incredible find. But they felt they were due because for years they've been
doing good.
That's right. That's exactly right. After years of hard work and goodwill, they have taken trash out of the water. They felt it was good. The cops came back and said, hey, look, you actually get to keep this shit. Dang. I don't know what department that was. So they said they plan to use the money to fulfill a lifelong dream. And Agostino, who grew up without a home of her own, has always wished to have one in New York City for her family of 5. And with this money, they can now make that dream a reality. But hey, check this out. Some of the shit they found over the years, they have found handguns, even grenades.
Wow, that's scary.
Yeah, right? Who the fuck?
What if you're pulling up and you realize it's a grenade? What do you do?
I know. So anyway, that's shout out to them. I'm glad they get to keep their money. And crime story, I'm pretty sure it's a crime. Somebody stole that fucking safe.
Imagine the history in that. I know. And those waterways, because that's one of the oldest cities, you know?
Yep. Very good story there.
It's a cool story.
Yep. All right, your turn. Hey, lifers, Woody Overton here, and I want to talk to y'all about something that's come up around our house more than once lately: hormones. Now, I can't speak from personal experience on this one, but I've seen it firsthand with Cyndi. There were days she'd be feeling drained, overwhelmed, even a little off. We couldn't figure out why. She was eating right, taking care of herself, getting things done like always, but something just wasn't clicking. Turns out it wasn't just stress. It wasn't just being tired. She took this free 2-minute quiz from a company called Happy Mammoth, and it gave her some serious insight into what might be going on with her hormone levels. After answering just a few simple questions, she got personalized breakdown, and one of the main things it pointed out was that her body may be overloaded with estrogen. That's when we found Hormone Harmony, Happy Mammoth's plant-based herbal formula designed to support your hormone levels, stress response, and overall well-being. Since Cyndi started taking Hormone Harmony, she said it's made a noticeable difference. Things like occasional bloating, low energy, and those mild mood dips, all less frequent. And it didn't take a huge lifestyle overhaul to see those changes. Just a small daily habit that fit right into her routine. Now listen, this isn't some one-size-fits-all deal. This quiz gives you personalized recommendations so you can understand what's going on in your body and what might help you feel better. Whether it's Hormone Harmony or one of their other hormone support products, you'll know exactly where to start. And here's the thing. Happy Mammoth has helped thousands of women. They have over 40,000 five-star reviews, and a bottle of Hormone Harmony sells every 24 seconds. That many folks can't be wrong. Ready to start feeling like yourself again? Head over to happymammoth.com and take their free 2-minute hormone quiz today to find the ultimate answer to your stubborn hormonal issues. And for a limited time, you can also get 15% off your entire first order with my code RLRC at checkout. That's HAPPYMAMMOTH.com and use the code RLRC for 15% off today. Hot sleepers, listen up. This one's for you. You probably know Avocado Green mattresses for their certified organic mattresses, but did you know they also make unbelievably breathable natural bedding? From soft organic cotton sheets to light as air as silk and lofty down duvets. Their bedding is designed to naturally regulate temperature and to keep you cool and comfy and sleeping soundly all night. Hey, and let's be real. When you're swapping out jeans for shorts and turning up the AC, it's probably time to refresh your bed too, because we sleep better when we sleep cool, and nothing sleeps cooler than natural organic bedding. What I love about Avocado's bedding is how breathable and temperature regulating it is. Whether you're wrapped up in that organic cotton sheet or under their down or silk duvet inserts, you're staying cool, dry, and comfortable all night. No more waking up in a sweat. Plus the feel, the total luxury. These are the kind of sheets you look forward to climbing into. Their cotton is soft from night one and it gets even better with every wash. And don't get me started on the down duvet. It's like sleeping under a perfectly cool cloud. And of course, everything is made with sustainability in mind, from GOTS certified organic cotton to responsible down standard certification. So you're not just investing in a better night's sleep. You're supporting ethical, eco-conscious practices, better for you, better for the planet. Head to avocadomattress.com today to save 10% on all bedding and 50% on clearance bedding. Avocado is a dream of being better.
Very cool story, Woodrow. We're going to go to the Bourbon Street Hustler.
Ooh, we were there.
Yeah, we were there.
We literally were there the night the dude got killed, or we were leaving the night he got killed. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Danette Colbert.
Not on Bourbon Street, because Cyndi fell and twisted her ankle. We didn't make it to Bourbon Street. We were there. It was Super Bowl weekend. We were in the French Quarter.
Not even funny.
But it's true.
Funny. It was such a devastation. We were so looking forward to that day. It was beautiful. Anyway.
On our way to eat oysters. It was all the restaurants were having the oyster fest.
And get Bloody Marys. And they had donating. A whole day planned for us.
They were donating. And it was my birthday.
It was.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
No, now I'm going to cry because I ruined your birthday.
Stop. You didn't ruin anything.
Danette Colbert, the 48-year-old Louisiana woman, has now been dubbed the Bourbon Street Hustler.
Yeah. And
she's been sentenced to 25 years in prison for her fraud conviction. It turns out that she has more of a criminal history than we knew.
I'm pretty sure you don't just start out killing MFers, taking them in a hotel room and robbing them.
So in case people don't remember, she was the one that killed the Telemundo, or was in the Telemundo Kansas City reporter Adam Manzano's room before he died.
Right.
Okay. So her criminal history includes multiple fraud offenses, particularly targeting tourists in New Orleans French Quarter. In 2024, she was convicted of theft, computer fraud, and illegal transmission of monetary funds. And she received a 10-year sentence for those crimes. This was in 2024.
Yeah.
She got a 10-year sentence for these crimes.
Right.
But the Louisiana Attorney General's office challenged the sentence, and citing that her status as a quadruple habitual offender with 5 prior felony convictions.
You go, Jeff Landry.
So a judge imposed a 25-year prison term without the possibility of parole on her new sentence, right?
So the great part about the story is that Jeff Landry, our new governor, he was the attorney general before, and the attorney general, reviews cases like this, right? Mm-hmm. And they were like, and sometimes they challenge law enforcement, mm-hmm. but they were like, she was, is this frequent flyer, mm-hmm. habitual offender. We have the habitual offender law for a reason. And had she been locked up and sentenced properly, she would have never got out, right? And now they locked her up as a habitual offender before these murder charges of the Kansas City Reporter even coming about, what she did on Super Bowl weekend.
Absolutely.
And then evidently her playground was the French Quarter. You know why? Because any given day, there's 1 million people down there that aren't from New Orleans who are just having a good time, drunk, carrying on and whatever, and being pickpocketed. And that's what, tell them, Sim, what I make you do when we go to New Orleans.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not allowed. Well, I don't wear jewelry, of course. I don't carry a purse unless it's a crossbody right in front of me.
And when we go out, I carry ID and everything in my front right pocket. And it usually it's not that I don't let her, y'all. I don't want her to carry a purse because I fucking know what they're going to do. They're going to run by and rip that bitch off.
Yeah.
If you don't have it on, then they'll rip somebody else's off.
Yeah.
So, all right. My pop, your daddy, that's my father-in-law who's been deceased for some years now, but he was retired section chief of the Border Patrol mm-hmm. for all of South Texas. And believe it or not, I don't watch like regular cop shows and stuff like that, but I do like to watch like trafficking shows. And I like it because I would have been there. That's a long story. And I would have been on the border. I probably would have served underneath your daddy, right? Had my life not taken a different turn. But I love to watch how the criminals try to get shit across mm-hmm. now. And mm-hmm. the other day I was watching one, and the guys were, people bring pottery across. It was copper pots, and the dog kept alerting on the vehicle. They couldn't find the dope. They had taken copper pots and sliced the bottom out of it mm-hmm. and put in a fake bottom and filled it with black heart heroin and sealed it back where you couldn't even see the weld. Jeez. They had to cut into these things. I mean, they're geniuses, but they got 24 hours a day. They had another one that came across in a Camaro, and this guy's a known cartel member, et cetera. And they fuck him, run his car through the machine. Dog never alerted. And then they found a brick inside the fender well. They went in there and tore that car apart. You know what it was? A wooden block. So they're testing them. Yeah. The cartels test them to see if they could catch it and what they can get away with. So let me take you out to the Tornillo border crossing. Do you know where that is?
No idea.
It's one of the ones, the truck crossings in Texas. And y'all, there's a limited amount of crossings in Texas, but like Progreso, do you know where that is? And then across from that is Nuevo Progreso. I had never even heard of that one mm-hmm. till the other day. Yeah. But anyway, you know what? It's time for beast mode. All right. So United States Customs and Border Protection, they got canines, like I told you, and when you're pulling through, and look, these border crossings always got a mile of people stacked up honking fucking horns. I'll never understand why they do that. It's not going to make it move any faster. Are you a U.S. citizen, or what's your nature of your visit? And then a certain amount of cars get selected for secondary inspection. Well, this is what happened. When you get selected for secondary inspection, you might be sweating, or it might just be your turn. And if they expect something, usually they bring in their canines. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened on this case. So the canine officers on duty, we're not going to give his name because, cartels be killing people and shit. And this lady is driving across in her Nissan Titan, right? And she is from America.
So she's coming from Mexico into America.
That's correct.
Okay.
She is crossing at the Tornillo border crossing, and she's driving a 2013 Nissan Titan. Now, they told us in drug school, if it's a single female, that's one of the biggest indicators on drug trafficking. But so it's 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon, right? So they flag her for that secondary exam I told you about. Well, the old K9 walks around and he sniffs out some shit.
Okay.
14 bundles of cocaine that weigh 28.5 pounds.
That's crazy.
So you figure the a kilo before it's stepped on or cut up is worth $28,000 on the street. 20, that's 14. Basically that's 15, almost 14 kilos. But they step on it with fentanyl now, and so each one is probably worth it. That's in the millions, yeah. So anyway, she's a 25-year-old American woman was trying to smuggle drugs across that Tornillo border crossing. But that K9 alerted on her Nissan Titan, and they sent it to the secondary exam, and they tore that Titan apart, and they found full wrap bundles of cocaine hidden in the wheel well and dashboard of the Titan. So the Customs and Border Patrol, said that the woman was driving the truck alone, and she was turned over to the Texas Department of Public Safety, basically the Texas State Troopers, right?
Yeah.
Because even though they make the arrest there, the charges have to go through that jurisdiction. And so she's facing state charges related to the drug smuggling attempt. The head of the CBC in this area is called the Marcelino Serna Port Director. His name's Eric Fernandez. He said that every load the CBP stops plays a role in keeping communities and neighbors safe, and that this was a significant amount of cocaine that didn't reach its intended destination, and the woman's name hasn't been released because they're going to kill her ass too. And naturally, the Nissan Titan has been seized as evidence, and I'm pretty sure it's not drivable. They ripped the fuck apart, and the drug dog got his treat. So people seriously, people don't know that for the dogs, the whole training, it's a game.
Yeah. And
all they want is they want to work. They want to go in and do it because they know if they hit a smell and they learn some of them sit down or whatever their move is that they do, they know they get that, they will get the praises in that one certain tree. It's not something edible. It's a toy that they only get when they find dope.
Yeah.
And so shout out to them, because that, could have been turned into however much bad dope to kill so many people. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I just thought that was a good beast mode.
That is a good beast mode.
Right. And pretty awesome.
Reminded me of a story when my dad was in the anti-smuggling unit, and he was undercover sitting on the river at a major what they thought was a major crossing point. They had seen sign, and him and his partner were sitting in a old truck. I actually think it was my dad's personal truck. It was like a 1950 something Dodge baby blue. And the partner was on the floorboard because they only wanted one head sitting there. They didn't know who was going to come up, so they wanted the partner to be kind of hidden in case they got into, they would think it was one person, they would have backup.
Right.
So they're sitting there, and Dad's like sitting there eating his powdered donuts and his honey buns, because when he would come home from a detail, he would get out of his truck. He would get out of his truck or his car, and it would wrappers would just come falling out. Cans would fall out, because you don't get out of it for days.
What my shit was when on surveillance like that, I'd just take my shit, throw it over on the floorboard all night long. Look, surveillance is not like you see in the movies. It's boring as fuck.
Yeah.
And it's also very hard to do. But that's what we had inmates for, is to clean those vehicles out.
Well, so all of a sudden, people start loading up in the back of that truck. And they're like, what the hell? And they load that sucker full and they're all laying down. And then the partner that's in there had more of a Spanish like accent. You know, Dad was obviously Anglo, and when he talked, his accent wasn't very good at that time. So Mr. Oscar was like, whatever in Spanish, like, y'all ready? Like vamos or something. And they're like, sí. And so they go and they take them straight into town to the Border Patrol office.
That is so funny. They literally jumped in the back truck of the two undercover Border Patrol agents. Yep. That is hilarious. I never heard that one pop out. That's a good story. So, all right. Well, do you have something to bless us with?
I do. I'm going to talk about a Delaware middle school principal.
All right. So I guess it's going to be it's time for F'd Up Professionals.
So Tasha Parnell is 44 years old, a former middle school principal in Delaware, has pleaded guilty to 2 counts of third-degree rape and 1 count of continuous sexual abuse of a child.
Wow.
The offenses occurred between the years of 2010 and 2014. This is when she was a teacher at Stanton Middle School in Red Clay Consolidated School District. So in 2020, she went by the name, her professional name. I didn't know that teachers would have like when you hear professional, like stage name.
Yeah, like Candy or.
Yeah. Whatever the street you grew up on was and your whatever color shirt. I don't know. There's some game that you play. But anyway, her name was Tasha Oliver in 2020. And then she was appointed to be the principal at Alexis I. DuPont Middle School within the same district. And she remained in that position until September 2023. So she got promoted in 2020. Then she was placed on administrative leave following notification of an investigation by the Delaware State Police.
Okay.
So despite being on leave, she continued to receive her full salary.
Yeah, that's called vacation.
$142,000 a year. That was her salary.
They're paying teachers well in Delaware.
So she was terminated finally in September 2024. The public was not informed of the investigation or the 19-count indictment filed in August of 2024 until the public wasn't notified of any of that until 2025. So then she pled guilty and her bond was revoked, and she's currently in custody at the Dolores J. Baylor Correctional Center awaiting sentencing. And
so you're saying she did a good thing
because she pled guilty.
Yeah. Well, it'd have been better if she'd have hung herself.
Yeah. So right. The district attorney says the sexual abuse.
She pled guilty because she got a deal.
Yeah.
Fucking piece of shit. Did you know there's an online cannabis company that ships federally legal THC right to your door? And they found a way to combine THC with carefully selected functional ingredients to target nearly every mood and health concern you can think of. I'm talking about Mood.com's incredible line of functional gummies. And you can get 20% off your first order at Mood.com with promo code RLRC. Forget one-size-fits-all supplements that only get you high. Mood's functional gummies are optimized to kick in as little as 15 minutes and take you to the mood that you're looking for. Whether that's Mind Magic gummies for deep work and creativity, PMS support to ease cramps and balance mood swings, or their sexual euphoria gummies to help you feel ready for action and turn every touch into a full body experience. Look, y'all, you know I have trouble sleeping. I take the Sleepy Time gummy. I take a quarter of one before I go to sleep, and I sleep hard all night long. Never even move, wake up feeling fresh as a daisy. So listen, you can find gummies to just get you high pretty much anywhere these days. But Mood's functional gummies combine premium federal legal THC with targeted botanicals to help you get into that perfect mood, usually in as little as 15 minutes. And everything ships discreetly right to your door. No dispensary lines, No awkward conversations, just better days and nights delivered to your doorstep. Best of all, not only is every mood product backed by a 100-day satisfaction guarantee, but as I mentioned, listeners get 20% off their first order with code RLRC. So head to mood.com, find the functional gummy that matches exactly what you're looking for, and let Mood help you discover your perfect mood. And don't forget to use promo code RLRC when you check out to save 20% on your first order. Summer's just around the corner, and the folks at Mint Mobile have a hot take. Getting the summer bod is out, and getting your savings bod is in. This spring and summer, we want skimpy wireless bills and fat wallets. And with premium wireless plans for just $15 a month, you can have both without breaking a sweat or the bank. I was paying way too much for wireless service and decided to give Mint Mobile a try. And I've been seriously impressed. The call quality is crystal clear, the data speeds are fast, and I'm saving hundreds of dollars. It's the easiest switch I ever made, and I didn't have to sacrifice a thing. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text, delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/RLRC. That's mintmobile.com/RLRC. Upfront payment of $45 for a 3-month, 5-gigabyte plan required. It's equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees are extra. See Mint Mobile for details. All right. Well, it is what it is. But you know what I love? Me, a good old-fashioned execution. Right? Mm-hmm. Like that teacher should have got.
Right.
Right? I believe it should be swift and certain. It never is. But I'll tell you about Mr. Glenn Rogers, who is a guest of the Florida Department of Corrections, or was, and he was a serial killer, right? And he spent decades on death row. But finally, the Grim Reaper came a-calling, and he was 62 years old now, right? And he was named the Casanova Killer. Mm-hmm. You remember that? Have you heard anything about that? Mm-hmm. So finally, they set his execution date for May the 15th, last Thursday, and they line him up and take him in, and they do what they do, and they kill his ass at 6:16 p.m. But what I love about execution almost as much as them killing these sacks of shit, is what they do in the moments before they die. They give them an opportunity. Of course, I've always been fascinated by last meals, but they also give them the opportunity to say some last words. And you never know what a motherfucker's going to say. Right. They might, after all the years of saying, I'm innocent, they might say, okay, I'm guilty, I apologize, because they know they want to go see Jesus or whoever they believe in. Or they might say, go fuck yourself, or eat a bag of dicks, or whatever. Right? Well, Glenn Rogers, they gave him his chance. They bring him in, and let me tell you what he is convicted of first, just real quick. So he was sentenced to death for the murder of 34-year-old Tina Marie Cribbs, who was a mother of two and who was found dead in a Tampa motel room in 1995. But through the investigation, they cherry picked which one they were going to try him on, right, for the death penalty, because he confessed to killing over 70 women. Mm-hmm. Right? He was a bad dude. But he was only convicted of 2 of the murders, one in Florida, one in California. And Florida stepped up to the plate and said, we'll kill him. All right. So anyway, they get him in there, line him up, get ready. Viewers are all in there. Members of the press that have been selected, victims' families on one side. I don't think this cat had anybody for him, maybe his preacher or something. And they say, Mr. Glenn Rogers, you've been sentenced to death by the state of Florida for attending the team, right? And then they read the death warrant and say, do you have any final words? I'll give you $1 billion if you can guess what he said. He's hit 6 words. I'll narrow it down for you. It's 6-word message. And it was to someone.
I have no idea.
He had a 6-word message. And he said, President Trump, keep making America great.
Oh my gosh.
That's it.
Okay.
And then they execute him. Now, what the fuck do you know about the end of that? This is not a political show. This dude's been locked up for 40 years or 30 years or whatever. But he says, President Trump, keep making America great. His final words. I don't know. If I was a family, I would be kind of pissed off about that. But I think it's kind of funny. No?
I'm trying to wrap my brain around it.
I mean, well, he said, President Trump, keep making America great.
It was deflection, and it actually is a slap in the face for the family.
Well, yeah, I agree. But then he did say that was, after that, he thanked his wife, and then he turned to him. He said, I'm ready to go. Okay. And then they killed him good, right? So
what was his method?
So y'all, last month, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed Rogers' death warrant. Rogers had 3 failed attempts to overturn his guilty verdict, all the pills, all the bullshit. And prosecutors said in a motion that Rogers was found driving Cribbs' car in Kentucky 1 week after her murder. Cribbs was found with stab wounds in a motel room, which was rented by Rogers. After the arrest, Rogers told police he killed 70 women, though he was only convicted of 2, right? The cops said Rogers strangled Gallagher, who was a mother of 3, after meeting her at a bar in Van Nuys, California. And this was only a couple weeks before he was in Florida, so he's going coast to coast killing. Yeah. And he killed Cribbs. Now, Rogers' brother later claimed that he was responsible for the 1994 murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman.
Oh my God.
Right? So, well, LAPD dismissed that bullshit. And anyway, they had a made-for-TV movie made about him where he confessed to him, whatever. State of Florida, we step it up. I'm pretty sure, I think it's still lethal injection there. And this is the 5th person they've executed this year.
Wow.
1 a month.
Wow.
Keep it up, Florida.
Wow.
Because you got a lot of them lined up waiting to go. Look, I want to jump turns. I had so many good stories that I want to tell today, but I want to jump turns because we got to go. We have y'all, I think I said this earlier. We have a call in 30 minutes with Cold Case Files, a producer, not a production company. So I want to do one more, and it won't take but a second. Okay. This is going to piss a lot of people off, and I'm not going to put it in beast mode because it's not a beast. We're going to Kentucky. Have you watched the documentary yet on Don't Fuck with Cats?
No, I'm not going to.
Oh my God. It's so disturbing. But you know what? Don't fuck with cats. We're going to Kentucky, and a guy named Zachary Rollins, who's 22 years old. He got arrested, and he's facing felony charges.
Because he effed with a cat?
He bit off a cat's ear during a domestic dispute.
What? Is he fighting with the cat?
You can't make this shit up.
He's fighting. Okay.
Listen to Zachary L. Rollins, 22, was charged with 1 felony count of torture of a cat or dog following the incident which happened this past Saturday. Pulaski County deputies responded to a home on Skyview Drive in Russell Springs, Kentucky, around 3 p.m. after a woman reported that her intoxicated boyfriend had bitten her cat's ear off. I had a lot of calls. I had never had that one. When the officers arrived, Rollins was found hiding under blankets in a bed.
How old is this man?
22 years old.
Okay.
All right. So The cops in there, they're like, hey, dude, get out from underneath the blanket. We need to speak to you. He's like, fuck you, I'm not coming out. Now, I have had that happen before.
I was going to say.
And he refused to even talk to him. Actually, like, hey, we can see you. Get out from under the blanket. You bit the fucking cat's ear off. We need to hear what your answer is. You know, they're saying you did this. He just, like, I'm guessing his brain, he's thinking, maybe they'll go away. Maybe they'll go away.
Like the guy in the trailer.
They can't see it. Yes. The Everett Thornton Jr. or the third, because I arrested both of them. Anyway, back to it. So deputies have to take the blankets off of him and they cuff him, right? And look, magic motherfucker, that wasn't a magic blanket. You're not Harry Potter.
Magic blanket, like it's TT or something.
Harry Potter, where Harry Potter's imaginary cloak or invisible cloak. So the woman provided the officer with photos of the injured cat and screenshot of a Facebook message in which Rollins, this dude hiding under the blanket, admitted that he bit the cat's ear off. In the message to his mom, now this is where his mom comes into play. Got to be a mama's boy if he's hiding under the blankets. I mean, you know, those cops are laughing their ass off. They're like, motherfucker, are you so, but actually they probably have their guns drawn because they don't know if he's got a shotgun.
Laughing yet.
So Rollins, after he bites the cat's ear off, messages his mama.
Mommy.
And says, Mama, I bit the cat's ear off because the cat bit me first.
Okay. Okay.
So the cops asked about it, and he didn't admit it. He said, yeah, I did send that message, but I didn't bite the cat. And he said he tossed the cat after he got bitten by the cat.
Okay. So does the cat have an ear or not?
After his arrest, the cops issued a separate warrant related to the deaths of 2 other cats.
Jeez.
From back in April, according to Pulaski County Sheriff's Office. Now he faces 3 felony charges and is being held at the Pulaski County Hotel at the detention center on a $50,000 bond, and he's fucked. So not only do you bite this cat's ear off, you tell your mama about it. I did it because he bit me first. Little Johnny bit me. Little Johnny hit me first. But then they go back and find out he killed 2 other cats last month.
Not the most, but what I want to know is, what did the mommy say? It's okay, baby. Mommy's going to get you out. I mean, seriously, what was her?
I have no idea.
Because I can't imagine LA texting me or messaging me or WL.
Yeah. I'd be like, take your leg, bitch.
I mean.
For real.
I know.
I mean, but I think that's a great story.
No, I mean.
Evidently, this cat's alive. The way, you know, I often wonder what human flesh tastes like. I never wonder what cats taste like.
Or an ear. Think of the texture of the ear of a cat. The hair.
Dude, I hope that cat scratched the fuck out of him, gave him some cat scratch fever. I mean, a cat. You are much a man at 22 years old for picking a cat up and biting his ear off.
He's Mike Tyson.
All right, y'all. We got to run, conduct some other business, but we love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you for liking and listening and sharing. You got anything?
Yes, we can continue to listen and share for sure.
Leave us a review if you want to.
Yes. And if you have any
suggestions, questions, gripes, bitches, complaints, send them to Cyndi.
That's right.
CYNDI at realliferealcrime.com. Look, I gotta thank all our sponsors. I mean, our national sponsors, we have more than we've ever had at any one given time. And I know that's a lot of commercials for y'all that are listening, but that's how we make our living. But if you don't want to listen to commercials, you can go to patreon.com, type in Real Life Real Crime, and it'll bring up all the different subscription levels, and you get commercial free, early releases, bonus episodes, which I got to put one up. We hadn't done one in a minute, other than all the materials from Haley's case.
Yeah.
But you go to patreon.com, type in Real Life Real Crime, or go to the Real Life Real Crime community app, free to download in App Store. It's everything Real Life Real Crime in one spot. Go search how to subscribe in there under what we affectionately call convicts, and you get the same thing. 6 days a week, you get commercial-free early releases on top of everything else that you get.
Yes.
So with that being said, we've got to run, but it's been fun. And I'm Woody Overton.
I'm Cyndi Overton.
Holler at y'all later. Peace.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 16th through the 26th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Hi, I'm Tara Schmidt, a registered dietitian and host of On Nutrition, a podcast from Mayo Clinic where we dig into the latest nutrition trends and research to help you understand what's health and what's hype. There's a lot of wild stuff out there, so we'll be keeping it science-based, research-informed, and practical. Mayo Clinic's On Nutrition. New episodes every other week, wherever you get your podcasts.